Why is a tape measure travelling at around 7.5 kilometres per second? I'll ask that question again. Why is a tape measure travelling at around 7.5 kilometres per second?
I wish I knew off the top of my head, like, orbital speeds. I feel like I should. That's something I should know.
That's what I was thinking. That feels like orbital speed.
That was where my head went, yeah.
But would they need a tape measure in the space station? Because you know how long everything is anyway, because it's all been built to spec.
How do you think they know how far up they are, Corry?
Oh yeah, we don't have a space elevator. We just have a space tape measure that just gets dropped down.
Yeah, it just whizzes past you in the entire... You have to glance really closely and go, 100 kilometres!
God, imagine that catching your fingers on the way back up.
That's what I was thinking, Anna. Yeah, at some point someone flicks it accidentally. That's when it's 7.5 kilometres. It's coming back in. Although, I do like the idea that you have a tape measure in space in kind of microgravity, and you flick it, and then not only does it come back in, it then starts the whole thing just rotating very quickly.
Yeah, it would though, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Oh, this is unrelated. Or maybe it's not unrelated. Maybe this is the lateral part. I'm being very meta here. Maybe, do you know those snap bands from like, are they from the 90s? Or
the ones that they're straight and then you put it around your wrist and it bends round.
Yeah. I think I cut one open once and it was literally just a tape measure.
Yeah, it's a bit of old tape measure. They put stuff around.
Recycling, we love it.
Wow.
Okay, Luke being surprised tells me that it's not to do with snap bands.
Okay, it's nothing to do with the snap bands.
Okay.
But I will say that you are on the right track with where you started to begin with. Like, it's very impressive how far you got in literally like 1 second.
I'm like the tape measure. I'm just traveling really far.
It's got to be somewhere outside the atmosphere, presumably, or it's got to be not relative to the speeds you'd expect, because 7.5 kilometres per second, a tape measure going through air is just going to burn up at that speed.
Yes, you are correct there, Tom.
Did someone accidentally leave their tape measure? Because I've done something like this before. Did someone actually accidentally leave their tape measure in like something heading to Mars?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
I've got my keys, I've got my wallet. I feel like there's something I'm missing. My tape measure. Oh, man.
Question to that, Corry. No, hold on. You've done something like that before?
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
You know when? Do you know how when you just shoot something into space every now and then, say a tape measure or garlic bread? You know, that's a normal thing that we all do.
Tom, I'm the only person on this podcast, as far as I know, who has sent something to space. I think,
edge of space. I sent something to the edge of space, and it wasn't traveling that fast.
Okay.
Look, I just think if you're going to come at me for sending a tape measure to space, you really got to think about where you're coming from.
That's fair.
So is it the tape measure is extending at that speed, or is it just like a tape measure and it's moving itself quite fast?
The tape measure is not extending. The tape measure has already been extended, but not at that speed, at a very normal speed for a tape measure.
I'm just full of ideas like that aren't good ones, like going on a spacewalk, and you know you're Sandra Bullock, you're on a spacewalk. What happens? Your line gets cut, but George Clooney has the other end of the tape measure.
Okay, let me just slice these possibilities in half for you slightly and tell you that the tape measure is not there accidentally.
Yeah, my brain is going, is this an actual tape measure, or is this sort of like
it's an actual tape measure,
physics tape measure that's perfectly spherical in a frictionless plane?
Because the answer to a lateral question can't be because someone needed a tape measure on the ISS. That's a bit...
Yes, that's it. We've done it. Congratulations.
Yeah, the 1000th question is just going to be easy, I think. You know, we gotta find it.
No, it is an actual tape measure. You are correct that it is in space. I want you to think about, and you've already touched on this, what are the other things that tape measures do that aren't measuring?
Well, they snap around your wrist. Yeah. We've been through this.
Yeah. Is it the entire tape measure that's moving, or is it just part of the tape measure that's moving?
The entire thing is moving. The tape measure is moving. It's not extending or like it's just as an object, it is moving.
It's kind of held under tension, isn't it? Because if you don't lock it into place, it will just spring back to where it came from. So is there some some way that you need to have like a long metal strip held under tension like that in space.
Is it to cross over something?
You're getting pretty close, Tom. You're getting pretty close.
Is it conductive? Is that maybe something?
That is getting closer. Not conductive, but think about the material properties of a tape measure. Specifically, we are talking, to be clear, because you've already got it and you've actually assumed it, interestingly, it's not a fabric tape measure. It's not a floppy tape measure. It is one of those metal tape measures that can curl up in a little circle, which you've been assuming the whole time, which is correct.
Hold on. You're using it as are you using it as some kind of like motor or electromagnet because it's coiled? If you run a current through a coiled wire, would that
you're getting colder now. But
okay.
Think about that coiling mechanism.
Someone on the ISS needed an emergency antenna.
Tom, you are closer than you think with that joke.
Okay.
It's not on the ISS, but you're so close.
What? A satellite then?
Yes! As an antenna for a satellite.
Of course, I don't know why I got stuck on the ISS. I think it's because it's a physical thing that people would take up, but no, you can.
And it's also something that we talk about. The ISS moving at X number of kilometers per second quite often as well, yeah. So yes, you've got it. This is a satellite called BisonSat. It is one of many amateur nano satellites that utilizes a tape measure as an antenna for the device. It takes this springy material and it's coiled up during the launch, and then it's released once the satellite has reached space. A string keeps this little tape measure coiled up, and then a resistor burns the string when it's time to release the antenna. And as you know from if you've ever used a tape measure, it springs out. Or well, when we use them on Earth, it springs in. But they use that same springing mechanism to spring it out, and that is then an antenna for your satellite.
Oh, wonderful.
At the time of us recording, BisonSat is traveling at 26,800 kilometers per hour. It is a 1 kilogram cube, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters.
There are so many of those CubeSats up there. Like if you have a university department with a good budget, or even maybe a school with a very good budget, you might be able to get one of those, or even a tiny smaller one up there, and they just get sent out on some rocket launch with 100 of them all getting launched.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like they often use like a phone as the processor and even the camera, and also in this case a tape measure as the antenna. It's kind of like you're just cobbling this thing together. It's very cool.
The Lateral book is out now. Just click on the link to get your copy.